Good morning, everybody. I hope you are all doing well. And welcome to the Faith and Fandom Feedback Friday podcast. Trying to hit the correct buttons for things. There we go. I killed free Ren. Yikes. But hope you're all doing well, minus the fact that I'm just breaking junk for absolutely no good reason. Welcome to the first Friday of September. I hope things are going well for you. Um, it's not been a bad week, by like most standards of existence. It's had its moments. It has definitely been some highs and lows and everything. But I hope you are all doing well, and looking forward to getting to hang out with y'all and to go over some news, share some encouragement, and all the things to go along. Good morning, Julie. Julie is live on Instagram. This is our second time trying to do this live on Instagram as well as Facebook, and YouTube and all the things at the same time. So trying to make this not suck in terms of broadcasting because it can be uh hard and weird at times. So want to do this well. But again, hope you're all doing well. We're going to get started with just the news in the moment, and at the towards the end of the podcast, we are going to be giving away a dice bag from Mythic Thread. So um, if you have not dropped your guess for how many dice were in this bag, good morning, LJ. LJ dropping announcement bombs left and right for Fayetteville Comic Con or Fayetteville Fan Fest. Um, if you have not dropped a number to guess how many dice were in this bag last week, um, you can make that guess. If you look on the original posts, there was somebody within two, and they're going to be the winner unless somebody guesses that correctly. But we also have two runner-up prizes that will be going towards the the prizes that come along with it. So if you have not guessed for the dice bag, make sure you go ahead and do that. And if not, we'll be hitting off with the news and go ahead and getting our day started in just a second. But thanks everybody for joining in. Thank you for being a part of everything. And I am yeah, let's do this. Um so jumping off with news. Today, The Conjuring, or last night slash today, Conjuring the Last Rites, the final film in the Conjuring series, or at least there might be spinoffs, who knows? People never stop. But the last primary film in the Conjuring series hits theaters. Next week, September 12th, the final installment of the Downton Abbey franchise will be dropping, uh, with the last Downton Abbey movie. I believe it was the full series and then three movies. And the last Downton Abbey movie will be dropping, and it will be LJ says he rolls out the schedule for Fayetteville Fan Fest on Monday. Nice. The last part of the Downton Abbey story will have lots of tributes to the late Maggie Smith. But the final part of Downton Abbey drops next week. So that's going to be beautiful and emotional. Uh, Cody Rhodes and his wife Brandy welcomed a new child into the world. So Cody and Brandy Rhodes did their thing, and they have a new baby. Um, I think I'm on the previous week's news. Let me get on there. Yep. Trying to be organized with how my notes go and not do this poorly. Let's see. Yeah, we'll go with this. Um, The Backstreet Boys are reportedly earning $4 million per night. Good morning, Katie. Good morning, James. Um, Backstreet Boys are reportedly earning $4 million per night at their residency at the Las Vegas Sphere. That is a lot of money for the Backstreet Boys. I feel like that's better money than the Backstreet Boys earned in their prime time, let alone now. But congratulations on earning $4 million a day. That's kind of gangster. Tristan, good morning in Australia, homie. Um, the movie, the movie based on the Stephen King short story, The Long Walk. is dropping in theaters, and Lionsgate is putting screenings out for The Long Walk, where you actually have to walk on a treadmill while you watch the movie, and you have to maintain a pace of 3 miles per hour on a treadmill the entire time you're watching the movie. And if you fall below that pace, you're escorted out of the theater. Um, I think that's doable. I think I can walk 2 hours easily on 3 miles an hour, but I feel like watching people get shot and murdered while walking might be like slowing up my pace a smidge, but who knows? Um, there was a live action Aristocats movie, that was being made. And it was being made by Questlove of The Roots. If you only know him as the drummer for the Jimmy Fallon Show, I'm sorry, but he's also like a monument of hip hop. But Questlove was responsible for a remake of the Aristocats series, and they've officially shelved the Aristocats remake, so that is not happening, or at least not happening currently. Studies from Brigham Young University are showing that the Surgeon General believes that chronic loneliness increases your risk of death by 26%. You're always hearing me talking community and connection and all these things, and it's a serious thing, but it says that chronic loneliness can increase your risk of death by 26%. That's the same impact as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Um, and it said that loneliness can weaken your immune system, that it can activate stress responses, that drive up inflammation, disrupt your sleep, and even raise the risk of a heart attack, dementia, stroke, all these things. So, short version, let's connect with people and not be alone. Whatever that looks like, let's do that. Um, because it's rough. The Muppets are coming up on their 70th anniversary. And with that, Marvel is unveiling an entire boatload of covers uh, featuring classic Marvel moments reimagined with Muppets, down to Rolf in the black suit Spider-Man thing from Secret Wars, to literally about any Marvel cover you can name is getting remade as a Muppet. If you are a fan of Muppets and you want to make sure you get your hands on these because they will be scarce, make sure you contact your local comic book shop so that you can actually get your hands on these Marvel Muppet covers before they're gone. A If you are familiar with the Lisbon elevated, it's not an elevated train, but it's a streetcar in Lisbon. Uh, it was a famous tourist attraction. It overturned and crashed this week. 15 people were dead and 18 people were injured in this tourist attraction crash. It happens, but it's not great to hear. The star of the serial killer series You, Penn Badgley, has officially welcomed his twin boys into the world. Miss Skaggs, good morning. Good to see you. I missed y'all at GalaxyCon, FYI. Um, but Penn Badgley has welcomed his new twin boys into the world with his wife, Domino Kirk. The iconic fashion designer, Armani, has died. Giorgio Armani has passed away this week at the age of 91. And he is, you know, that's a long legacy. James Patterson, who is one of the most prolific authors of all time, dude literally churns out books. I feel like AI would have a hard time keeping up with James Patterson, with the way this dude writes. But James Patterson has launched an initiative on behalf of emerging authors. The best-selling novelist is going this Wednesday announced 12 recipients of grants from his Go Finish Your Book campaign. Kelly, good morning, homie. With his Go Finish Your Book campaign, he is basically paying authors to go finish their books. Um, 12 recipients of grants will receive up to $50,000 to complete their manuscripts for their books. I'm gonna just tell you, James Patterson, I am writing books all the time, and if you pay me $50,000, I will write more books. So I don't know if that's good for you, bro, but I've read your books since I was 18 years old. Hook a brother up. Um, as I mentioned previously, uh the last portion of the Conjuring series, The Last Rites, hits theaters this week. In an earlier screening this past week, a Texas movie theater had a bishop bless uh patrons with holy water at screenings of The Conjuring. Um and uh Morning, Darren and Katie laughs at this. Listen, we need to find a Conjuring theater that's got like actual priests with holy water. Because I mean, like, if you're going to go see The Conjuring and you don't get blessed by holy water by a priest in the lobby, what are you doing? Um, listen, I've set up in movie theaters to sell my books. I've never thought of like blessing people before horror movies, but either way, there's a whole display and you can watch this dude literally put holy water on people before they go watch The Conjuring. Kelly says he's going to watch it tomorrow. It's going to be an adventure, dude. It literally is. Let's see. Miss Skaggs says that's hysterical. It is hysterical, but hey, you know what? It's good for movie business. It's good for I guess that dude's church business. I don't know, man. But hey, it's not the worst thing you could do. Bad Bunny's residency is coming to an end in Puerto Rico. It's estimated that the performer, actor, rapper has brought in an estimated $200 million boost to the Puerto Rican economy. And so that's definitely a win for Puerto Rico. That's great for Bad Bunny. Cheers all around with that. I don't know any of Bad Bunny's music. I really liked him in Bullet Train, and he's a good wrestler. And I should probably give more. I've played his music at events, but I don't have fluent Spanish either way. But congratulations on helping the Puerto Rican economy, Bad Bunny. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's post on Instagram announcing their engagement um, got the highest it hold on, let me phrase this correctly. It surpassed 1 million reposts on Instagram, um, which is more than any other post has ever received. So their engagement photo got more reposts on Instagram than any other photo. But what makes it more impressive is that they got that many reposts within 6 hours. So they took the record, all-time record for reposts, and did it within 6 hours. Kelly says, going to Bucky's first. Do you want anything besides sanding on gummy bears? Um, Depends on when you're going, bro. Julie, you're heading to the beach. Have a great trip. Kelly, if you get me like a paddle tail or a beaver tail or whatever that is, but I'm gonna be at a con until like 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock tomorrow. So I don't know if it's even functional. But if you want to bring me a beaver tail Sunday, rock on, bro. I'd appreciate it. Jordan Peele's long-awaited fourth film has been removed from Universal's slate for 2026. The follow-up to the movie Nope was officially supposed to be going down um, in 2024, but the writer's strike and the guild thing slowed it down and halted that process, and now it's officially off the table. Not that it's not happening, but it's not going to happen next year. Skip Bayless, the co-host of former announcer Shannon Sharp and NFL player Shannon Sharp, has officially settled his lawsuit uh, against Charlie Dixon, or with Charlie Dixon, the executive director of Fox Sports. And yeah, they bad blood, but I mean, they literally, their whole career was bad blood. So that's what it is. Disney will pay a $10 million penalty for allowing children's data to be collected on YouTube videos, which is a big no-no now that YouTube has been more stringent on the data collection on children's videos, because it's one of the reasons like every time I load a video, I have to click this is not for children. Even though most of my stuff is, I guess, child friendly, But if you click it's for children, it has a whole different set of laws, and I don't mess with that. Cardi B is cleared of her assault charges or assault allegations in a $24 million civil case filed by a security guard who accused Cardi B of assault in 2018. So Cardi B does not have to pay that $24 million. There was a controversy this week over a Polish CEO who stole a hat that was autographed and handed to a kid at a tennis match. Um, and he's like, screw that kid. Like his initial response, and I'll go back and read it when I get to it in the notes, was that I was faster. A grown man with billions of dollars stole an autographed hat from a kid at a tennis match and said, I was faster. Eat it. So you are not nice. That is straight wrestling heel attitude. But he would later go on to apologize to the boy and the player. But his initial response was like, "Screw all y'all, I was right." And then he got pressured a little bit later and actually apologized. Um, there will be a total there will be a total lunar eclipse happening on September 7th. And the moon will turn red for 1 hour and 22 minutes. And if you played Legend of Zelda, you know that's when all the monsters respawn, and you should prepare yourself and make sure you're healed. A Guinness Book world record was set by a woman named Gabrielle Wall. Gabrielle Wall officially set the record for the fastest 100-meter barefoot dash on an entire track of Legos. Yes. This woman will lead us all to the gates of Mordor. She will destroy the One Ring by herself. She will solve all of our problems because this lady did a 100-meter barefoot Lego dash. Um, and listen, stepping on Legos is one thing, and I know people talk about that as being hardcore. Step on like a D4 dice, and Lego's got nothing on that. But either way, Gabrielle Wall set the Guinness Book World Record for the fastest 100-meter Lego barefoot dash, coming in at 24.75 seconds. Congratulations to her. Let me go on down to my next bracket of news because I'm organized and trying to do better at life in general. All right, we are here. Um, Kelly says she has to been top of the mountain. Yeah, yeah. Kelly says she has been to the top of the mountain. Miss Skaggs says she has children, doesn't she? I guarantee she has to have kids to be dashing on Legos like that. Gordon Ramsay revealed this past week that he had skin cancer and had it removed, and reminded everybody to wear sunscreen. Two people died from a flesh-eating bacteria after eating raw oysters this past week. One in Louisiana and one is in Florida. So watch out for your raw oysters. Um, Darren says, step on a Hot Wheels car if you want your. I feel Hot Wheels, and Hot Wheels depends on the body shape. But yeah, I'm with you. Miss Lynn says, who is coming up with these ideas for world records? Listen, you can, as long as you can pitch an idea to Guinness World Records that doesn't currently exist, you can pitch a world record for anything, and do it. So there's always a little bit of notoriety to be had with that. Um, Liverpool has officially transformed into Gotham this past week as filming for the DC film Clayface has started this past week. You can see Gotham City stuff all around, as well as Jitter's Coffee and all the actual DC staples. Thomas Reese, who is playing Clayface, has been spotted in really grotesque makeup. And if you're not aware, the Clayface film is going to be a full-blown horror movie, with hands-on by Mike Flanagan, who makes Haunting of Hill House. So, yeah, Clayface is happening. Uh, WWE superstar and diehard Chicago's Bear fan Seth Rollins is officially joining Good Morning Football on the NFL Network as a guest host for the entire 2025-2026 season. So Seth Rollins will be covering football, covering next year. Oh, let's see, you covered that. Okay. The Sesame Street library, like all of Sesame Street, is coming to YouTube in January 2020, or most of Sesame Street is coming to YouTube in January of 2026. It is going to Netflix as well, but you're going to be able to get the full back catalog of uh, Sesame Street with that coming to YouTube in that time. So thank you for both of those. You know, Little John, like the rapper that guy, Little John, at the age of 54, won third place in a Muscle Beach fitness contest. If you remember Little John, Katie claps to the Sesame Street story. I actually screenshotted that from your Instagram story. Um, but Little John won a Muscle Beach fitness competition. Uh, at the age of 54, dude's gotten like crazy chiseled. He's not like freakish, but to go from being that to that, Miss Skaggs says she just needs the Muppets. Um, it is not confirmed, like firm confirmed yet. But I did see some news chatter this week that there is a reboot of the Muppet Show being produced by Seth Rogen, potentially coming to TV. Did not see that officially confirmed, so I'm not like announcing that, but at least there's some Muppet news. So you get Muppet comic book covers and potentially a reboot of the Muppet Show, but we'll see. Um, Jujutsu Kaisen is getting a new story and a spin-off manga called Jujutsu Kaisen 3 Modulo. So if you're a fan of Jujutsu Kaisen in the manga, you're gonna have opportunities there. With the marriage engagement or with the engagement announcement of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, everybody's finding ways to kind of capitalize and post off of this and everything else. And one iconic band has officially shot their shot at Travis and Kelce with a public declaration and plea to be their wedding band. Uh, with a post that reads, "Dear Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, um, we know what love is. We spent 40 years figuring it out, and now you guys have too. Please accept this as our formal offer to be your wedding band. Best wishes, Foreigner." So Foreigner has made a public request slash decree slash opportunity to be the wedding band for Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Now, I don't know that that's going to be functional, but it could be fun. Kelly Townsend said he wants a reboot of Fraggle Rock. Man, Fraggle Rock was the jam, and I think our world could do with some Fraggle Rock these days. Uh, the long awaited sequel to Hollow Knight, Silk Song, dropped this week and it crashed the Steam servers upon release. And to be such a long awaited game, they did not upcharge and charge $1 billion for it. The long awaited sequel is just 19.99 on all systems. I downloaded it a second ago, but I'll be super honest, I've not played Hollow Knight, so I downloaded that too. Um, but I was so excited for people being excited. I'm like, I want to be part of this game now. So Hollow Knight Silk Song officially released, is getting good reviews, is making people cry, and it's crashed the Steam servers. Bluey the movie will officially be coming to cinemas on August 6th, 2027. It's also announced that just a few weeks prior to this, the Superman sequel, Man of Tomorrow, which will, if it's following the comic book series, will team Lex Luthor and Superman up against a greater evil. This is Lex with his big green and purple suit. Superman, Man of Tomorrow will also be dropping in 2027. I'll give you a date on that later. The Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot has officially finished filming its pilot, meaning that's just the first episode. and then it'll be reviewed by Hulu, and they'll say, "Do we want to buy this or not?" But they've officially filmed their first pilot episode for the Buffy reboot. Uh, if you aren't aware, there's an animated Tomb Raider series on Netflix called The Legend of Lara Croft. I believe it's being voiced by Haley Atwell is playing Lara Croft. Uh, and it will be coming to an end with season two, but also a live action series of Tomb Raider starring Sophie Turner of Game of Thrones and X-Men fame will be coming as well. I believe that one's for Amazon, but I've got that later in the notes. But the animated Tomb Raider is ending, and the live action Tomb Raider TV series is beginning. Um, a YouTuber um, who has is a what's let me get his name correctly. But it's like Silk Song News, which was a dude who's been talking about Hollow Knight and Silk Song since the last Hollow Knight game, has officially broadcast for 1,693 consecutive days of uploads um, on waiting for Silk Song to return. Now that it has returned, he's officially retiring and signing off. So, sir, thank you for your service in updating us on nerdy news. Mike Tyson has officially signed on and agreed to fight Floyd Mayweather. That actually could be a fun, not gimmicky boxing match. Um, an animated movie about the life of Jesus drops this week called Light of the World. It's in theaters today. If you want to check that out, I don't know a ton about it except that it's done by a former Pixar Disney executive. Scientists have found a skull um, in a cave, and they've been analyzing it, and they cannot confirm, and they are leaning more towards the concept that this cave is not, or this skull is not human. It has a horn-like protrusion and is being described as half man, half unicorn. But it is being examined. You can see more about this online. But yeah, if and all the Bible nerds are like, it's a Nephilim. Darren Shell says, have you read anything about a new Bale Batman movie? I have seen nothing about a new Bale Batman movie. The last thing I know is that the Pattinson Batman movie is happening. It's being filmed, and the Brave and the Bold will be the first DCU Batman movie. Is all I got. Japanese researchers have claimed to have found a way to weaken or erase learned motor memories using a process called blue light therapy, and that when activated and targeted on certain brain connections can actually shrink memories spines enough to erase singular memories. They're testing it to be able to potentially remove traumatic memories from people that are unwanted. We're literally at the stage where we're doing Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Um, but yes, they're working on ways to erase memories. So that's a whole thing. Delta Airlines has officially agreed to settle for $79 million dollars in a 2020 lawsuit after a pilot dumped fuel over a Los Angeles schoolyard and injured 56 people. Teachers from Park Avenue Elementary School filed a lawsuit against the airline, and it took 4 years for it to get paid. And they officially paid out $79 million dollars. Katie says nothing can go wrong. Absolutely, yes. Let's scientifically manipulate our memories and expect everything to go right because that's how science works and people. Um, and a not surprising turn of events, Florida is set to end all vaccine mandates for children. If any state was going to do it, it was going to be Florida. Um, but yep. The future of Doctor Who is now further on hold. The BBC had stated that they were waiting for season two of Doctor Who to air before they made their decision. Not the BBC, sorry, Disney had said they were waiting until season two fully aired before they were going to make a decision. Now they are not going to make a decision on the future of Doctor Who until mid 2026 because there is a 5 episode remainder with Doctor Who where they're doing a spin-off series. I think it was the War of Land and Sea, but like they filmed a 5 episode special, and that technically still leaves them in their contract. So they're not going to make a decision on if they're going to move forward with Doctor Who until this spin-off series airs later this year. The Powerball jackpot is officially up to $1.7 billion this week after no one has won. So making it the third largest U.S. Powerball of all time. White Lotus has announced that their location for season four is going to be Paris. That sounds interesting. And hope all these actors going on vacation to film this show enjoy it. Caitlin Clark is officially out for the remainder of the WNBA season. And she's heartbroken and disappointed. Former President Joe Biden underwent a skin cancer surgery this past week to remove skin cancer from his forehead. This is after just a few months after being diagnosed with prostate cancer as well. Covered that. That. I think that might be all of our news. I'm gonna double check this real quick. No, it's not. Um, Here we go. Warwick Davis, the star of Willow and a million other things, and Return of the Jedi and all the movies. Warwick Davis has officially become the first person to return from the Harry Potter movies to the upcoming Harry Potter TV series for HBO. Warwick Davis will not have his role recast, and he is going to play Professor Flitwick both in the movies and for the next decade in the TV series. What's up, Secret Agent Peg? Um, but yes, Warwick Davis is returning for that. If you've seen uh, stuff going around for a while that there are giant troll statues appearing in parks and things like that, um, it's a cool Dambo troll is what they're calling it. By an artist named Thomas Dambo. He's made these giant wooden troll statues, and they're being installed at parks and national parks around the world. The Danbo trolls, 5 of them at least, are going to be at Dick's Park in Raleigh, North Carolina. Um, and like the Dorothea Dix Park, kind of where you'll usually see people doing sunflower photos and stuff like that. They're going to be not hidden, not that you can really hide a giant troll. But the ticket, or it's open to go see these trolls to the public beginning September 17th. Early access for DPC members began this week. So if you want to go see some giant trolls in a park, they are in the Raleigh area. This year at uh, Dragon Con and its various organizations raised $320,000 for charities. Dragon Con is one of the biggest and personally scariest Comic Cons in the world. It's just a lot of people doing a lot of people-y things, and it's more than I want to be around. But Dragon Con raised $320,000 for charity, so congratulations there. Um, One of the most legendary TV animation studios of all time has officially shut its doors. After 54 years, the Canadian studio Nelvana has officially closed. It was founded in 1971. It gave us shows like Franklin, Roly Poly Oly, The Care Bears, The Magic School Bus, Babar, The Backyardigans, Inspector Gadget, The Fairly Odd Parents, The Berenstain Bears. A lot of good stuff. And they have officially shut their doors. Um, these were like huge parts of a lot of people in our lives. But it was a part of our history, and it's officially going down. A man was found dead in a pool of blood during a ceremony at the Burning Man festival that took place this summer. And it is being investigated as a homicide. And the name of the man has been announced, but I'm just going to leave that out for now. But yeah, during the Burning Man festival, the ceremony took place, and a dude was found murdered in a pool of blood, which, you know, if it's between Lollapalooza and Burning Man, that's where I'd expect it to be. In news of things the world does not need, but will probably do anyway. Um, Tristan says we have some of the Dambo troll sculptures near us. Oh, that's really cool, dude. That's neat that they're making it around the world. Um, in news of things we don't need, KFC is officially collaborating with a candy company to release fried chicken, corn, and gravy flavored jelly beans, labeled as the Colonel's favorites. There will officially be a KFC flavors of jelly beans because nobody needs this. Going back to the tennis match thing, the Polish CEO Piotr Secherick, his response to stealing that kid's hat is officially this. The recent incident at the tennis match has caused a disappropriate online uproar. It's all about the famous hat, of course. Yes, I took it. Yes, I did it quickly. But as I've always said, life is first come, first serve. I understand that some people might not like it, but please, let's not make a global scandal out of the hat. It's just a hat. If you were faster, you would have it. What a douche. Regarding online, hey, I remind you that insulting a public figure is subject to legal liability. All offensive comments, slander, and insinuations will be analyzed for possibility of taking the matter to court. That was his original stance, and then he apologized because people got all over him. Katie says he can go to Mars. Yes. Um, eh, Um, at Dragon Con, one there's cosplayers are always one of the biggest features at Dragon Con, and one of the coolest things at Dragon Con this year was a chess Jawa. A Jawa that set up shop on a corner in Dragon Con, and you paid money to challenge this Jawa to chess. And if you lost, the money went to charity. Um, The Jawa played 194 games of chess, four draws, no losses. Take that, Tuscan Raiders. Um, and they were able to raise $3,554 for NAM. So great job, Jawas. That's pretty dope. And sad news this week, there was an earthquake that left almost 500 people dead and 1,000 people injured. Uh, and there was a second earthquake that followed up after that, but that one was less fatal, but it was rough in that area. It was in Afghanistan, and on the edges of Afghanistan. The toll ended up being actually 800 killed and 2,500 wounded, in the total before all the aftershocks and everything else. And those are huge, horrific numbers. That might be all of our news. I hate to end on a bummer. Um, but that might be the news, and that's how news works. I think that is all my news. I'm used to before I was doing the news on Instagram, I always had it on my phone so I could like easily scroll, but just I think that's everything. Trying new things. Um, oh no, that's not all the news. Cool. Here we go. Um, Sheen, the popular clothing company, and you know, sketchy online source at times, uh, had to remove product and imagery this week because somehow doctored photos of Luigi Mangione were made to be the models for Sheen's website and clothing. So if you went to go buy a t-shirt or a polo, there was a smiling Luigi Mangione as the model for your clothing, which actually caused people to buy it more. But it got reported,
and people freaked out, and so they took it down. So if you got that limited edition Luigi Mangione shirt, Merry Christmas. The Baltimore Ravens, appealing to their community and demographic, wanting to be supporters of their fans, have officially released a flock-friendly concessions menu, uh, where all items will be under $5. So if you make it to a Baltimore Ravens football game, you're going to have the chance to actually go to concessions and not spend more than your tickets. Um, this is coming in with a barbecue sandwich under 4.99, nachos at 4.49, a hot dog at 3.49, a $2 pretzel, uh, $3 French fries, um, popcorn for $1.99, beer for 4.99, soda for 3.99, and water for 3.49. Okay, popcorn for $1.99, wonderful. Why is water still got to be 3.49? But whatever. That's also great. That's really good for concessions. And as someone who's fed groups at sporting events, thank you. Um, there is video footage of a police response to a 5-year-old boy who left his house before his parents woke up and walked across the street, down the street, to Chick-fil-A to get breakfast. Um, he wandered off in the Tampa Bay area, and he literally didn't live far, but this was a little 5-year-old boy in just a t-shirt that walked down to Chick-fil-A to get breakfast. Chick-fil-A fed him and kept him safe while the police went and got his parents. The parents were 100% asleep and had no idea their kid was gone. Um, but yeah, don't do that. That's a bad life choice. Um, the comedian Drewski, if you're not aware, for the purposes of this news broadcast, is an African American gentleman. Drewski uh, is under fire for going to a NASCAR event in full body uh, Caucasian paint. Drewski got a movie level White Chicks Tropic Thunder level uh, makeup job where he was completely painted Caucasian, uh, down to fake American flag tattoos and unbuttoned overalls, and went to a NASCAR event to hang out with uh, other Caucasian folks at the event. And like filmed it as a whole big comedy sketch. And like he's under fire from people saying that that's, the same as blackface, or what would happen if, a white person did it and things like that. And Drewski personally says he's willing to have every one of these arguments with y'all because it was funny. And while citing things like the movie White Chicks and Tropic Thunder. And he's like, if those things can make it, he can make it, and he's not worried. But I will say, in terms of makeup, if you are familiar with what Drewski looks like on a regular basis, and then you see um his transformation into this, it's actually just on terms of aesthetics and skills, it's impressive, and his acting for that ability was pretty gangster, actually. So whether you feel that that's offensive or not, y'all can have that conversation. But uh, he had an achievement in how he pulled it off. Um, if you there's plenty of footage of him doing this on his own socials and stuff like that. It's DRUSKI. If you just want to be enlightened on that, but yeah, Kelly says his makeup was epic, and that's just, yeah, it's that. Um, the longtime contributor to R&B culture and music, Montel Jordan, um, is saying that his prostate cancer has removed, even though he has had his prostate cancer has returned, even though he has had his prostate removed. Usually, if you have your prostate removed, you hope that'll be the end of that conversation, but the cancer has returned even after that process. Musician Noah Khan, who's one of my daughter's favorite musicians, but I've not listened to anything he's done. Noah Khan announced that he got married to his partner on uh August 23rd and just kind of kept it quiet. Uh, an AI powered camera company, Flock Safety, has become one of the biggest security and camera companies in the world. Um, Garrett Langley, the CEO of Flock Safety, has worked with police and Axon and Chinese drone maker DJI. Um, he is claiming that with the AI startup that he's working on and the drones that he's created, he will be able to eliminate crime in all of America. Y'all, we're talking about literally altering our memories with science and an AI drone dude saying he's going to eliminate all crime in America. Y'all, have y'all not watched a movie? Have y'all not seen society and how we live and act and the things that we do? If a dude with a lot of money and technology said he's going to end all crime, nothing's going to go well unless you're Batman. And even if you're Batman, that's not gone well. So, don't, no, guys, don't do this. It's a bad life choice. If you are part of the UNC Pembroke community, if you grew up in Robson County or anything like, uh, Katie says so many opportunities for misdirect, misidentification and misuse. Yes, listen, dude, dude is literally saying, "Hey, I'm creating Big Brother. Calm that down." Um, if you're part of the Pembroke community and you went to UNCP, then there is a talent contest for students and alumni that will give a $5,000 cash prize um, to students and alumni uh, for that. And auditions and opportunities to be a part of that contest are going up now. If you check out UNCP's website or the UNC Pembroke Alumni Association, you can check that out. There'll be tickets to go watch this event, but there will be a $5,000 cash prize. And it will be taking place on Saturday, October 11th at 7:30 p.m. at UNCP. So if you want to be part of this competition, you should definitely check that out. If you've ever been to Atlanta, to the airport specifically, you know they got that whole fancy train system to get you from one place to the other. Darren Shell says they will arrest you before you can commit the crime. Sounds like a movie idea. Yeah, dude, it's Minority Report. That's literally what that is. But the Atlanta train that runs through the airport, the people who run that train have officially unionized. Um, I'm from the South. I don't know anything about unions for real, but um, yay, is that good? Hey, they're taken care of, so good for them. Um, yep, there's the Tomb Raider thing. If you are aware, there have been reports over the last few weeks that Kai Cenat, um, the streamer, lost his Nike deal because he talked about his faith. Kai Cenat says no, that's wrong. That didn't happen. That's not why he lost his Nike deal, or anything like that. And he says don't believe that because it can be really easy for Jesus people to be like riled about stuff. He didn't lose his Nike deal over that. He made that clear and made that statement to Relevant Magazine that that's not the case. Um, the yesterday the sequel series to The Office, The Paper, premiered on Peacock with all 10 episodes dropping. The day before, on uh, Wednesday, September 3rd, before the show even premiered, it was already renewed for season two congratulations to the paper. I've yet to watch it. I've not had that kind of time. I'm looking forward to watching it. I hope it's going to be great. But it is already renewed for season two. Honestly, some of the clips that I've seen have been pretty golden. It's the so I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do with it. Um, Starbucks is going to be adding protein lattes, and protein cold foam this month. Um, the the these macro focused beverages will be available starting Monday, September 29th. So, if you're trying to get swole with your latte, there you go. You're going to have that opportunity. Um, Stories have come out and been revealed to public knowledge this week about a wrestling related story with Taylor Swift that has been kind of kept quiet for the last 15 years. Um, Miss Skaggs says, "Have a great day and an awesome weekend. Time to start the day." I hope you have a great day, Miss Skaggs. I hope your family's doing well. Um, but in Jeff Jarrett, the former wrestler, made kind of a public declaration and announcement this week and just sharing the story that when his wife was dying of cancer, Taylor Swift came and performed a 3 hour concert for her and their family and friends, just without making a single sound about it, without telling anybody. Like, it was when she was kind of younger in her career and everything, but she still showed up and played a full 3 hours of music for his wife while she was dying of cancer. And Jeff Jarrett's like, just, he's kind of kept quiet about that, but he just wanted to say how wonderful that was. And so he made a big deal out of it this week. So it's kind of been all over the news with that. And that's just great. Man, and tomorrow already announced that world record blood moon. That might be our news, folks. Yep, I think that's all of our news. Uh, thank you for taking the time to listen to our news, and let's go ahead and jump on to the giveaway for the dice bag. If you saw, we or the post over the past week asked for people to guess how many dice were in this bag when this bag had dice in it last week. I took it out because I needed my dice. Sorry, but I have the number written down. I asked people to guess, and the closest guess would win it. And we also have two runner-up gifts that are going to be going out as well. And I've not seen any other numbers come in this morning. So with our winning number, the number of dice that were in the bag uh last for the last week was 97. And so that puts Bailey Gold or Gould, Bailey Gold. I know who you are, but I'm saying your name wrong. Who was actually there. He was there when I was right before I bought this bag. Bailey Gould came in at 95, so he officially wins the dice bag. So I'll get up with you and get that mailed out to you. And our two runners up coming in at with 78 as their or sorry, Bailey guessed 95, so he was two off from the 97. Robert Sanders guessed 78 because I'm going by what the Price is Right rules, whoever's closest without going over. Um, Robert Sanders came in with 78. So Robert Sanders, you've officially won a cute little crochet wolf, and I will send that out to you as well. And coming in at 76 is Michael Glenn. Michael Glenn, you also get a cute little crochet wolf. Um, so I have two crochet wolves as our runner-up gifts. Yeah, Darren says 387. I don't have that many dice, bro. Or if I did, I've given them away. Um, so Bailey Gold wins our dice bag, and Michael Glenn and Robert Sanders, you've officially won our runner-up wolves. Michael, I'm gonna see you at Greensboro Comic Con, so I'm just gonna bring your wolf so I don't have to ship it. Bailey and Robert, I will get up with y'all this week. In doing so, this isn't news, but I did K-pop Demon Hunter devotional and dropped that yesterday. So if you're a fan of that, you can be there. I'm going to be heading to a little bit later today. I'm going to be heading to Havelock, North Carolina, for the Friends of the Brothers Boyd issue 2 Comic-Con because that's the longest name of all time. And whatever. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good show. I love the Brothers Boyd and appreciate all their contributions to our nerd community as a whole. And I'm grateful to be going to their show tonight, and it's gonna be tomorrow in Havelock. So if you're in the Havelock area, which it's 3 hours from here, and I don't know what else is in that area other than New Bern and people that our Nicholas Sparks stories are based on. But Havelock, come see me tomorrow at the Havelock Tourist and Events Center. We'll do that. Yeah, K-pop Demon Hunter chapter is out. Let y'all know if you care. I think you care. That's why you're probably listening to this. I am Tristan says, dude, that devotional is solid. Thanks, man. It's still probably gonna get tweaked, but like I was just like, man, I got to get this out of me so I can focus on other stuff. Because every time I was writing other things, I'm like, I need to work on that. But I'm 10 chapters deep into a Dungeons and Dragons ish devotional, not devotional, sorry, just a fictional story that I'm writing based on the D&D campaign that I played with my friends last or this year, and novelizing not the actual campaign we played, but just kind of our characters and moving on from there. I'm 10 chapters deep on that, and probably once I'm done and polished, I'll call that the first act. And I'll probably put that up online, maybe, and definitely put it up in audio, and read through it. It's just fun, and it's nice just to write something for fun. Um, and it's also I don't know where everything's going, so I'm just kind of playing it by how characters are responding in my head. Um, But writing on that, working on that, Lyle Pollard messaged me this morning to ask me when I was going to send him the script for Flockward issue 2. Um, and I told him, I was like, bro, I don't know if I've got enough money to pay you to do Flockward issue 2 right now. Um, but we'll see. But that being said, also just to let y'all know on some health stuff, I've been getting some tests and things, and nothing's giving me really definitive answers. I have a CT scan or two next week to check out some more stuff on my spine. But basically, there's some bad stuff in my neck and my spine, my cervical spine, and some other stuff, but still trying to figure it out. I'm alive. I'm good. My body's just weird some days. Um, but that being said, let's go ahead and hit our roll for initiative Bible reading. And how that's going to work is I'm going to take a dice. I've got these rock, paper, scissors dice, always how we do it. The rock will be Old Testament. Uh Scissors is New Testament, and paper is the whole Bible. So we're going to roll this first and see where we're reading. Um so we are reading the New Testament. Potentially less depressing than just landing in the Old Testament. That's great. All right, so there's 27 books in the New Testament, so we're gonna take a D20 and let's see, let's get a D8. Yeah, and we'll subtract one so that we can potentially land on a one. Okay, so D20 and a D8, and we are rolling to see which book of the New Testament we're reading. 10 and 1. So we're reading the 10th book of the New Testament. Let's see what that is. Oh, goodness. 10th book of the New Testament. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ephesians. Can't can't really go wrong with Ephesians. 1480. Not that anything's wrong, but like I think the last few weeks of this we've been in some like prophetic destruction stuff. I'm just like, yay, Ephesians. All right, where are we at? Ephesians. I know there's at least 6 chapters in Ephesians. That might be all there is. Oh, Ephesians. Jaw. Yes, and six is the number, how many chapters there are. So we're going to roll plain and easy a d6 and see what we land on. See which chapter of Ephesians we're reading. It's got this cool stone d6 from Italy. It's pretty neat. So we're going to roll this and see which chapter of Ephesians we're reading. Two. We are reading Ephesians. We're reading Ephesians chapter 2. All right. And I'm just gonna make this plug again one more time as I clear off some space so I can lay this down. Move free in out of the way. Bye, free in. As I sing your sad theme song in my head. Um, I got this journal the other week that I'm really enjoying as a devotional journal. It's a Bible study journal. It's called Clever Fox. My daughter put me onto it because she's into journaling things. And apparently this one is much bigger than hers, but I can take big. But it's got sections for sermon notes, it's got sections for devotional reading that really breaks things down, it's got sections for character study. One of my favorite things is it's got a Bible tracker for each book and chapter of the Bible. So if you so today we're reading Ephesians 2, I'm gonna go ahead in here and mark out Ephesians 2 off this little checkerboard. Tadao. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the Bible reading portion of this Bible study notes. So 8:30. Okay. So we're going with 9/5 Ephesians 2. I don't know any of the rest of this yet because I haven't read it. All right. Ephesians chapter 2. All right. Ephesians 2. As for you, you were dead in your transgressions and sins, in which you used to live when you followed the ways of this world and of the ruler of the ruler of the kingdom of the air. If you're not aware, this is one of the lesser referred to but often implied titles for Satan is the ruler of the kingdom of the air or the prince of the power of the air, um, who is the spirit who is now at work in those who are disobedient. Verse 3 says, all of us lived among them at one time, gratifying the cravings of our flesh and following its desires and thoughts. Like the rest, we were by nature deserving of wrath. But because of his great love for us, God, who is rich in mercy, made us alive with Christ even when we were dead in transgressions. It is by grace that you have been saved. And God raised us up with Christ and seated us with him in the heavenly realms in Christ Jesus, in order that in the coming ages he might show the incomparable riches of his grace, incomparable riches of his grace, expressed in his kindness to us in Christ Jesus. So, like, literally, the point in order that, like, the main point that was to be accomplished, he might show incomparable riches of grace expressed to us in his kindness. So, literally, the point was grace and kindness expressed. Verse 8 says, for it is by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not from yourselves. It is the gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast. For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God has prepared us to do in advance. Remember to draw a little dice symbol so I know I've read this before. Verse 11 says, therefore, remember that formerly you who are Gentiles by birth are called uncircumcised by those who call themselves the circumcision, which is done in the body by human hands. Remember that at that time you were separate from Christ, excluded from citizenship in Israel, and foreigners to the covenants of the promise, without hope and without God in the world. But now in Christ Jesus, you who were once far away have been brought near by the blood of Christ. But now in Christ Jesus, you who were once far away have been brought near by the blood of Christ. For he himself is our peace, who has made the two groups one and destroyed the barrier dividing the wall of hostility. That's a good phrase. He himself is our peace. By setting aside in his flesh the law with its commands and regulations, his purpose was to create in himself one new humanity out of the two, thus making peace, and in one body to reconcile both of them to God through the cross, by which he put to death their hostility. He came and preached peace to you who were far away and peace to those of you who are near. That's a great standalone verse. For through him we have access to the Father by one Spirit. Consequently, you are no longer foreigners and strangers, but fellow citizens with God's people and also members of his household, built on the foundation of the apostles and the prophets, with Christ Jesus himself as the chief cornerstone. In him, the whole building is joined together and rises to become a holy temple to the Lord. And in him, you too are being built together to become a dwelling in which God lives by his Spirit. All right. Um, Solid passage to read. Not that they're bad ones. I'll grab a highlighter. So I want to highlight some of this stuff. Ah, trying not to get up. Using my prehensile hobbit feet. Ah, losing all the things. Right. I was trying to use this pen, but it was not cutting it in terms of highlighting. That's a good highlight color. Oh, that's not a highlighter. You a highlighter? You're a highlighter. All right. Because of his great love for us, God, who is rich in mercy, made us alive with Christ, even when we were dead in transgressions. It is by grace you've been saved. Order the coming ages he might show incomparable riches of grace expressed in his kindness in Christ Jesus. For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared us to do in advance. But now in Christ Jesus, you who were once far away have been brought near by the blood of Christ, for he himself is our peace. And in, let's see, no, one body to reconcile both of them to God through the cross, by which he put to death hostility. He came and preached peace to those who were far away and peace to those who were near. Yeah, cool. Um, so main theme and topic, being made alive in Christ. Um, Reconciliation and unity through Jesus. Key verses for me, it was 4, 5, 7, 10, 13, 14, 16, 17. Uh, Main characters is really just Jesus. Location. This was Ephesus. Uh, Main message summary. Jesus makes us alive. Jesus unifies and tears down walls. Cross references. I don't know of any specific ones. No. How can I apply this to my life? Live in freedom, appreciate life we've been given, do the good works we're prepared to do, not live in division. All right, it's kind of my notes for that. Thank y'all for taking the time to read that. I hope you or roll with me while I read it. Um, like I said, I'm gonna be heading out in a little bit to well, first I'm gonna go do my mogul job, then I'm gonna head out. But I'm gonna be heading out in a little bit to go uh to Havelock, North Carolina, to the Friends of the Brothers Boyd Comic Con issue 2. I'm gonna be there in Havelock tomorrow. Then the 13th, I'm doing a wedding, DJing. The 20th, I'll be in Greensboro for Greensboro Comic Con. Also doing a panel for FaithCon while I'm at Greensboro Comic Con. Gonna see how I can make that work because I'm great at scheduling things. And then after that, we will be in Myrtle Beach for Boardwalk Comic Con October 4th and 5th. Boone Comic Con on October 11th. I had a shift in my schedule because I was scheduled for a show on October 11th that got canceled. So now I'm going to be at Boone Comic Con October 11th, and I should be at Fayetteville Fan Fest doing Geek Church. And that might be it for the year for me, depending on how neck surgery and stuff goes. So thank you for taking the time to listen and hanging out with me today. Before I go, I want to take a moment to thank our Patreon supporters for being amazing and doing all the cool stuff that you do. Jackie Kraft, Kelly Townsend, Alan Wallace, Fab Quack, Rivka and Tristan Birch, Dorothy Martin Winston, Michelle Stewart, Lynn Turner, David Brooks, Jeff Weimer, Colin Sproles, Jamie Montgomery, the Coleman family, Jonathan Herman, Ron Petit, Gear Saber Cosplay, Scott Ward, Alicia Glenn, Jay Shee, Jason Crutchfield, Mike Perna, Todd Turner, John Jacobs, Zach Harris, Caleb Grimm, Jeanette Skaggs, Jason Bullock, Christina Ray, Sarah Lewis, Patrick Gale, Rebecca Godlove, and Adam Davis. Thank you all for being as cool as you are, for doing the things you do. And just being the support you are. Kelly says, bro, pray for those of us who are starting the residency tonight, please. Absolutely. There's a leadership residency my church does, and Kelly is going to be part of it tonight. Y'all are going to be great, dude. And I think tonight's just like a kickoff. You're going to be fine, man. You're already a leader. You know, this isn't going to make you a leader. This is just going to help you be a better one. Um, but we'll definitely be praying for you. Absolutely. But yeah, that's about it, y'all. Thank you for hanging out, starting your weekend with me. That's one way to look at it. Um, as we head into the rest of the week. If you find me in Havelock, I'll have free Pokemon cards, and I'll be doing sketches, and I actually am bringing the books I ran out of and stickers and stuff like that. So look forward to seeing y'all there. And I'm gonna move this dice, and then I'm in the broadcast. But I thank y'all for just being the encouragements and the support that you are. And that's it. Uh, I hope y'all have a great day. I hope that God moves you in powerful ways, that you find encouragement, that you see ways that He's moving around you. If you take time to read or check out the Demon Slayer devotional, Demon Hunter devotional, not Demon Slayer. If you take out time to read the K-pop Demon Hunter or listen to that devotional, let me know what you think. Always love good feedback. Um, I don't know if I always do love good feedback. That might be a lie. But I'm saying hypothetically, I love good feedback. Love you too, Kelly. Thank y'all for taking the time to listen, and I hope y'all have a great day. And I'll see you at a con real soon.